Hello, welcome to part one of the season finale of The Beaten and the Damned. This is a Percy Jackson inspired campaign, and we are using the Demigods Quick Start Guide as our system. My name is Kelsey, my pronouns are she, they, and I'm the communications director for this lovely channel you see us on right now, TTRPG. In terms of housekeeping, we have three little announcements. First announcement is I said part one, that means there's a part two to the season finale of this show, and that will be happening next Wednesday night at the same time slot, same channel, same time, same place. We had so much to pack in to the finale that we split it in two so that everybody can sleep. So hold on to your hats. It's going to be a lot of fun. And in other news, we have a new game starting this Saturday. At 11 a.m. Pacific, we'll be kicking off The Contaminated, a game run by Morshadi with an all-Latinx cast where all the players are angel hunters. Then this Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, we have our May episode of TTRPG The Talk Show, and our guests are Connie and C from Transplanar RPG. So that should also be a lot of fun. Come check that out. And as fate would have it, I'm also your herald for this evening, otherwise known as the GM or the Game Master. I have a wonderful cast of players here with me, and we are all giant nerds who love the Percy Jackson series, and this game is definitely 100% just an excuse for us to live out our fantasies as demigod campers at Camp Half-Blood. Well, I guess we haven't been at Camp Half-Blood very much, but that's okay. So when we go around and introduce everyone, I'll have you share your name and pronouns, your character's name, godly heritage, and your playbook. And we are going to start with Vin.
Hi guys, I'm Vin, he, they, at VinFoxV on Twitter, and I'll be playing Rascal, Child of Hermes, the Trickster.
Wonderful. And Milan?
I don't know why I didn't think I would second. Hey, I'm Milan. I use he, him pronouns. I will be playing Viren with he, they pronouns. We are using the Verdant playbook, and Viren is not a demigod. Viren is a dryad, or hamadryad? I don't know what the terms are. I did not study mythology.
Awesome. And Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan, also known as Imagine Matrix. My pronouns are she, her, same as my character Althea Cooper. She is a daughter of Poseidon, and she is the elemental playbook.
Wonderful. And last but certainly not least, we have Joel.
Hello, I'm Joel. I use they, them pronouns, and my character is Solar Diaz, a child of Apollo that uses he, they pronouns and uses the arcane playbook.
Wonderful. Now that we have met everyone again, it's been a few weeks, so we're going to do a quick little recap before we dig back in. In episode 5, the party said their last few goodbyes at Camp Sally and re-entered the labyrinth. Upon entering, they found their way into a Miriki den, identifiable by the poisonous slime coating the tunnel walls. And instead of fighting said Mirikis when they were approached, certain members of the team, a rascal, decided to just set the whole tunnel on fire, and it roasted the entire den. So then they continued onward and followed the trail of burnt, scarred walls until they found a door buried in a tunnel wall where they saw sparks of electricity step inside just before them. And this door led into the big house, which had been swallowed by the maze and smashed together with the camp store. And they had only a brief moment of peace before discovering that another demigod, Madeline, a child of Hephaestus, was in the basement looking for something. And our heroes managed to disarm her powers and send apocalyptic visions after her as she escaped into the labyrinth. After that is when Viren finds himself called toward a box that holds a small, unsharpened wooden dagger named Kladaiki. I'll post that spelling in our Discord chat in a second. Upon touching the dagger, he's yanked into a vision where Balder, the Norse god of the morning sun, the summer sun, approaches to inform him that the dagger will cut through the curse of Achilles, but only if its user sacrifices their own mortal ties as well. And this is where we find our heroes now, quiet, tired, standing around a small wooden box that contains what is quite possibly the most powerful weapon in known history.
can't use this thing.
Still not sure what it does exactly.
If you use this, no underworlds, no Elysium, no reincarnation, nothing.
I mean, better than going to the fields of punishment, which might be their destination in this case.
No, I mean the user.
Oh, the user.
Both of you. Just oblivion.
So we're not using it then, right?
I'm not using this.
So
I'm gonna
that's
put it back in the
3
box.
left. Okay, never mind.
If someone else wants to take it, I don't think you should, but I'm not your parents.
Well, I won't be able to touch it if I do the Styx thing, right?
I mean, I guess not.
I don't know.
We have time to fiddle around with it, though. We can just figure it out on the way. Oh, that just
I don't
defeats the
think
purpose.
I don't know if we should fiddle around with something that powerful. Like you fiddle around with like crayons, not with like a bomb, you know?
I mean, well,
Sorry, I would just like to remind you all what you did at the beginning of the Miriki Den. I think that would also be qualified as fiddling around.
But it was completely controlled. All right.
Completely.
Controlled, overruled. Semantics.
I was in complete control of my fire until I wasn't.
well, I'd say we bring it just in case. I mean,
We might change our minds, get a little frisky.
again, most people go to Asphodel Fields anyway, so, and that's kind of an eternity of nothingness anyway.
See?
Don't even want to touch it. Think someone else take it. It's bad wood.
You know, I'll you know what? Let me hold on to it. I promise I won't do anything with it.
No, I'll take it as a happy medium because I'm the one who wants to keep these people alive and also us.
Okay, cool, fine.
I'll keep it as a last resort, and then I'll give it to Rascal and they can use it. It's fine.
After you use it, you finish out your mortal life, but after that, doesn't matter how heroic you are, just nothing.
I mean, doesn't our afterlives depend on what we believe anyway? So it's just no different than just being an atheist mortal. Maybe.
Honestly, this is getting a little too complicated for me. Can we just move on? Solar, knife,
I'll
keep going.
I'll pocket it, and I'll
you.
take it and put it, I don't know, somewhere safe with like maybe next to my snack pouch or something.
Okay. Yeah, it comes with a little sheath, so it's not just like open, dangerous material.
I'll just hook it to my belt. It's fine.
Magic chips, all powerful weapon. They
don't
go
accidentally
together.
take the bite out of the wrong one.
I debated for a second putting it in the bag of chips, but then I didn't want to get cut while taking the chips out. So to be fair, I think
that'd be a
both
really
of
awful
those
splendor.
are equally powerful for me. So if there's any, I think I did push some apocalyptic visions into Madeline's mind as she was leaving. Kind of giving her a taste of what she's gonna wreath on the world if she succeeds. I don't know what effect that's gonna have, but I figured we would all. It would be better if we're all on the same page about what's happening.
Maybe we should take like a rest or something. Just sit down for a little bit.
I agree.
Because I think our next destination is a little further down from here.
So upstairs, couches.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Also, the infirmary beds.
Oh, true.
Yeah, but cots are not great to lay down
I'll
on
take a
when you're trying to
couch.
relax.
True. Plus, if
Honestly.
like the infirmary is a little cluttered for Yama to come with us.
There.
I just imagine as we're starting to go up, there's just a horse just staring at us down from the top. Like, what are you guys doing down there? What's going on?
So you guys are you're all gonna take a rest. Are you guys doing like sleeping in shifts, or are you guys like separating out? What's your
I don't know if we're fully like any of us are fully like. I mean, is anyone intending to like fully sleep? I thought we were just catching our breath.
Oh no, Rascal is collapsing on the first soft thing they see. Just
I'll just run medicines on everybody and just kind of get them up to.
Okay. For the record, resting here would heal any harm that's been done. You wouldn't necessarily need to use magic to fix that if you're going to take a rest.
We can just flavor it that while everybody's resting and talking, I'm just kind of med kitting them essentially.
Sounds good.
Maybe we do take like a sleep here for like a few hours, but no more than like 4.
Okay. Rascal, you collapse onto the couch, right? You said a couch.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. The second I totally for my code. The second we get on stream, gunky throat again. It's a miracle. Anyway, Rascal, as you collapse onto the couch and fall asleep, you find yourself having one of our lovely, classic, heartwarming demigod dreams. You have a vision of Camp Sally, with the sun just barely rising over the farthest hill. Early morning is quiet and still, save for a few tents unzipping to reveal tired-looking campers and staff, all people you recognize: Clarice, Melly, Kai, Noah, milling about, starting their day. You can see the shed in the background, the same one that you left through to come back into the labyrinth. And a slow, dense fog begins to seep out from under the door, like inky black claws creeping toward the outermost line of tents. And then you wake up exactly where you left yourself, with a sick, nauseous feeling in your gut. But you're rested, and all your heart has been healed from your rest.
But at what cost?
It's just the cost of a message. It's fine.
Yeah.
Is everybody else also taking a rest, a nap, a little napsy? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I
think we rest in here.
I'm gonna stay awake. Just kind of do a shift to see whenever anybody wakes up. Then I'll maybe take like an hour nap at most.
Okay. So Viren, when you fall asleep, you dream of a rocky underground cavern. The cool underground air is still, save for the occasional drip of water onto stone. And a few feet ahead, the lone Greek soldier from your previous vision stares intently back at you, standing on the banks of the river Styx. "I am tired," he says, and you can almost feel the crushing weight that he carries, condemned to warn heroes away from his own fate for eternity. You feel something appear in your hands. When you look down at them, the small wooden dagger, Kledaiki, rests in your palms, green veins pulsing unnaturally. "You can stop this," he says. "You can release me." And then you wake up, once again, in the big house, right where you left. And Allie, when you fall asleep, you have a vision of Tartarus. I know I gave you the really fun one. It gets better, just wait. You have a vision of Tartarus writhing in the pit, capital T, Tartarus, writhing in the pit, covered in bars made of lightning and shadow, with thick black fog spilling out over the top and spreading along the barren, rocky, poisonous ground of Tartarus. The fog snakes toward you in inky tendrils, reaching for your feet, wrapping up and around your ankles, your calves, your wrists, pulling you down onto the burning rocky earth. Flame flares up through your knees as they make contact, and you hear yourself cry out in pain, the call of the earth shaker rippling through the ground underneath you. And then you wake up, and you realize that the floor you've been asleep on is shaking just slightly. It subsides after a moment, and a small folded piece of paper melts up out of the floorboards. On the outside, your name is written in neat, careful handwriting. Pencil marks have been smudged just slightly, like it's been handled several times.
I'm gonna grab it and open it.
Okay. So once you open it, you unfold it, and you can see that same neat penciled writing at the top of the page. And it says, "Find the big house. I cut a section of Ariadne string for you. It'll take you to the new camp. Please stay safe. Come back to me." And it's signed Noah. And then closer to the bottom, in dark black pen ink, someone else has written, "Trust me," and just signed it with a small Greek delta. And no matter how many times you turn the paper over, there's nothing else there.
Just gonna tuck that in my pocket.
Wonderful. And then, Solar, I imagine you would find some time for a nap in there. Would you like to take a nap? Okay. So as you fall asleep, you find yourself standing back on the tree with your palm pressed against the bark instead of Viren's. There's wind raging all around you. And you see a vision of a beautiful woman glowing with the immortality that you know only belongs to the gods. She looks like Hera, but also kind of not. Her features are distinctly softer. Her clothes are less regal and more like somebody who probably would have attended Woodstock. She's holding on to her son, comforting him while he tells her about his dreams and his visions of his own death. Moments later, the pair blends into another position, another location. The mother holding her son's body in the midst of the court of the gods. Not Olympus, though. Instead of the golden glow and white marble columns that you're used to seeing, this court is decorated with Nordic runes and carvings of a massive tree with 9 great branches stretching out over the walls. There's a moment of silence as you take in the massive hall around you, and then a sobbing scream cuts through the air, and you jolt awake, finding yourself sitting in perfect silence, exactly where you fell asleep in the big house.
I see.
We're all just having a great time. You're all super rested, refreshed, ready to go, right?
I was low key cuddling with Yama, so I did
That definitely
like
made it better.
rest. Yeah.
How do you cuddle with a horse? I want that information. Hold on.
I want a
lays
word
down
picture
and you
right now.
hug it. Horses lay down, like they just
When they
bend their
feel safe.
leggies and just get their big fat bellies on the ground, and then you go plop.
A loaf.
Loaf. Loaf horse.
It's mostly
Horse loaf.
me. It's like it's always gonna be the big spoon, and I'm just kind of just curled up against it. That's fine. Morning.
Yeah. Yep.
Can we get this over with?
Honestly.
I feel like we should have been over this like 2 weeks ago.
I think this started 3 days ago?
It's literally been just like a
5?
couple of days.
Quiet. Oh.
I don't think we've slept much because we've been in the labyrinth.
Time is fake. All of it. All of us. Ugh. And Rascal just rolls off the couch and his face flat to the ground with continued groaning.
So what's the plan? What's
Are
the
we
next
still
step?
going to the underworld?
Yeah.
Yep, our Toesy Wosie's in the Styx Wixie.
I mean, if we don't want to use
Not if you keep saying that.
Yeah, if we want to avoid using the other weapon and end up needing to fight them and can't convince them not to do whatever it is they're doing, then our best bet is one of us taking a swim.
I mean, at the lengths they've gone this far, I don't think they're gonna stop. And if they did, I would be upset because we had to go right along with them. So, Styx.
I'd rather give people the benefit of the doubt. Let them make their own choices rather than condemn them to a life of torture just because we decided against that.
Okay, whatever. Moral compass. Point north and take us somewhere. I don't know.
Hey, DM.
What?
Would dreaming about a place count as me knowing it?
Just trying to find an excuse to tell you no.
I'm gonna say no because you're like in the labyrinth, and Danny is still here and has definitely been here the entire time, and I definitely didn't forget that she was here, and she's definitely been chatting with you all and participating in things. So she can still lead you to, based on the vibes, she can still lead you to the river.
I still think we can talk them away from the edge. However, I do agree that we need at least one Achilles cursed among us for extra insurance.
Guess we need to go.
I mean, it's up to all of us.
And downward, onward and downward. That's where we're going, right?
Danny pipes up from the little kitchenette kind of area that's been squashed into a couple shelves from the camp store. And she peeks around the doorway and says, "For the record, I still think this is a horrible idea, but if you want some extra insurance, I think there's some cool stuff in the basement. We should probably take some of that."
Don't mind if I do.
Sure, let's go.
And we
Maybe
will be
there's-
happy to return it to Chiron later, right?
Yes, 100%.
Assuming we all come back, right?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
if it doesn't come to a fight, we'll come back. Plus,
So, since you are going to explore the little basement storage, I have a final magical gift for each of you. So each of you is going to roll 2d6 plus judgment. Anything up to a 9, you are going to pick one of the available options. And then on a 10 plus, even if it's a 6 or below, you still get to pick one of the things. And a 10 plus, you get to choose 2 of the available options, and there is a special extra option that you could choose from. And I'm going to direct you toward our character keeper in the magic weapons / items tab. And if you scroll down, way down to about 150 or so, you'll see a fun little chart that I put in earlier today. So they are color coded because of course they are. So you each have 3 options. And then if you rolled a 10 plus, you can also consider the one option that's marked for anyone. You rolled 10 plus. Okay. We will start with you then while you're deciding.
I also rolled a 10 plus.
Oh, you also rolled a 10 plus?
Did, yeah. I rolled exactly a 10.
I rolled exactly a 10 too.
Oh, it's sick.
Beautiful.
I have a -1 judgment. So
I have a +1 judgment.
I got a -2, so.
Oh
no. So we're going to start with Solar. And
I mean,
while you look those over, I'm going to read out what they are so that the audience can also hear. Let me go back to my thing. So Solar's 3 options, plus the 4th option, which I'll read in a minute. Solar's 3 options are Erebus's arrow, which is crafted by, and everything has like little tags on them. All these boxes are organized very neatly. So they have little like museum like tags on them that give you a little description of what they are. So you don't have to just like guess what it is. You'll be able to tell what it is.
So good.
So the first option is Erebus's arrow, which was crafted by the primordial Greek deity of chaos. and this arrow creates an unstable black hole upon impact. There's only one of them. The next is Heart of a Dying Star, which is a glowing spherical orb left behind when a dragon dies. It can be embedded into any weapon, and it will enhance their user's connection to the mist, or if they're a child of Apollo, their powers in general. And the third is the Band of Prophecy, which is a small golden ring forged by the priestesses of Delphi. And with some concentration, it allows the wearer to see what will happen in the immediate future before it happens. And then the fourth option is called Bottled Wrath. Centuries ago, a demigod whose name has been lost to time managed to bottle a few of Aphrodite's tears. When consumed, it temporarily infuses the drinker with the wrath of Aphrodite, which is the catastrophic rage for which she was originally known.
Aphrodite area.
So, Solar, you can pick two of those 4 options.
Oh man, these options are.
And you
They
don't
heard
have
about
to
that.
decide right this second. You can keep thinking about it.
No.
Right.
I have decided.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Erebus' arrow, and I'm gonna take
Okay.
the Band of Prophecy.
Okay. Cool.
You said I could take 2, right?
That's two of those 4 options. Yeah.
I was gonna take those 2. Hell yeah.
I'm going to just fill in the whole row with yellow so we know that you took them. Okay. Cool. So next we will do Allie. Allie, your 3 options. You have that 4th option. You also have the option of picking the Bottled Wrath. And then your other 3 options. The first is a seashell necklace, which aids in focusing an elemental's powers if they're a water-based elemental, and it reduces collateral damage because it helps you focus your powers. The next is called Sailor's Rope. It's a length of rope taken from the decks of Poseidon's most heroic sailors. Someone with a true adventurer's heart can control the rope just as well as they can tie a ship down to a dock. The third option, which I'm particularly proud of thinking of, is called Monstrous Gem. And in your case, Allie, it's a pearl. It's a small gem or stone related to an elemental's primary element, distinguishable by the sickly purple undertones that real gems would not possess. When crushed underfoot, it explodes into mist and transforms the user into a large mythical monster associated with their element. And in my fancy little color-coded spreadsheet, I have like the mechanics written down so they can all read that as well. So those are your 4 options, those 3 plus the Bottled Wrath.
I think I'm gonna do the seashell necklace and the Bottled Wrath.
I thought you might pick that one.
Yeah. I'm glad I got the option too.
I thought maybe you might. All right. And then Viren, what did you roll?
I rolled an 8, but I already know what I'm picking.
Okay. I'm going to read them out, and then you can tell us which one you picked. So Viren's 3 options are Bands of the Found and the Lost, which are compass-like mechanisms. They're attached to bracelets. So it's just a simple leather bracelet with a little compass-looking thing on top. And it says the compass-like mechanisms adorning the tops of these seemingly ordinary matching leather bracelets remain motionless until each bracelet is worn by a different creature or person or character. Once they're worn, the compass's arrows point rigidly in the direction of the matching band without indicating height or depth. The arrows spin wildly if the bands are worn on different planes of existence. So it's like one of those little like touch lamp things, kind of, except it's a compass. Then there is the Lathe flower. This is a partially wilted blue flower plucked from a garden of Lathe. The owner infuses the flower with a small, mostly inconsequential portion of their own soul. When accepted by another character willingly, the character will forget all memories of the owner without realizing what has happened. And the third option are redwood gauntlets, crafted by the ancient dryads of the redwood forest. The wearer experiences heightened awareness of the earth and roots beneath their feet and Hello, welcome back. Thank you for bearing with us. We had a small technical difficulty, but we're here now. And I was staring at another browser window, so I don't know when everything froze. So I don't know what you heard. So I am, how many of the last 3 items did I read through before it cut off?
I think you had just gotten to the third one.
Okay, so I didn't read through the Redwood Gauntlets.
Nope.
Okay, gotcha. So the third option for Viren are Redwood Gauntlets. They were crafted by the ancient dryads of the Redwood Forest. The wearer experiences heightened awareness of the earth and roots beneath their feet and an increased connection to their verdant heritage. So, Viren, which one would you like to take?
You know I'm taking the gauntlets.
I thought you might.
Viren, as they put them on, I really. How many of you are familiar with the Melii? I know they're on the other coast. The coolest, most badass dryad. Okay, all right. Well, guess just me. I met a couple of them once. Yeah. I feel that cool right now, is all I'm gonna say.
Well, you are really cool. So I mean,
all right, and Rascal, what did you roll?
Well, I had a 9, but my judgment's -2, so that makes a 7.
So you also have 3 options, and you can choose one of them. And I know you can also read them out. I'm going to read them out so the audience can hear. The first one is called Demon's Thread. This can be used to sew together any material that the needle can penetrate. Once sewn, the thread vanishes, leaving the sewn materials fused together seamlessly. The next one is called the Gambler's Blade. This weapon was created by a child of Nemesis, and it acts as any normal sword, but it has an equal chance of inducing psychic damage to either the wielder or the target. And the third is the Protean Amulet, and this allows the wearer to shapeshift at will with varying degrees of effectiveness. So, which one of these things would you like to take, Rascal?
I gotta take the Gambler's Blade. Like, that choice.
It's cool, right?
Great job with the items, by the way. These are fantastic.
I found most of them, I just shamelessly stole things I saw on Pinterest and then just flavored them slightly toward Greek mythology.
Listen, whatever works, works.
It was a lot of fun. I was having a lot of fun because there's some really cool ones. So now you all have your new fancy magic item / weapon. And Danny has taken a pair of cufflinks, shirt cufflinks, that during battle will transform into 2 mini handheld scythes, which are pretty cool.
badass.
So you have armed yourselves, and now on the way to the Styx, you have ample time to RP and have any conversations you maybe have been wanting to have with other characters, talk about things, ask questions, etc.
Listen, everybody. I can guarantee that we will survive for the most part, unless something goes completely unpredictably wrong. And I just pointedly stare at Rascal. But I still, if it comes to combat, I know we can win. But I don't want it to come to that. At least not without us exhausting all of our other options of communication before that. If you guys can promise me that you will try your best at talking them away from the edge, you can count on me to take the shot when it's necessary.
Fine. Look at my hands. No crosses, no nothing. I will promise to be as diplomatic as I can be. We'll try to talk things out. And then when it fails, then
If it fits.
if. Sorry, that is the imperative word. If.
Okay.
If.
I appreciate your attempt at trying.
Yeah, I agree. If words fail, though. Anything anyone wants to get off their chest real quick? Before we, almost figuratively jump into the river of death? Or literally, in some cases?
If I die, can someone punch Noaractus in the face for me?
I knew it's gonna be no. Of all the things, not say goodbye to anybody. Don't tell such a no.
Well,
it has to be no.
My brother already knows that he gets
takes
all
it
my
back.
stuff, so like he doesn't need, he already knows, and like.
But we see who's most. The first thing you're front after death. I'll do more than punch him for you. I'll make sure he sees you afterwards.
Oh, what?
It is a tradition to make a line and punch someone, so I think 3 of us can handle that if necessary.
I'm not very good at punching, but I'll do my best for you. Don't worry.
We'll do it all at the same time, so it feels like one good punch.
That's a good idea.
I mean,
Well, no, because Varian is like a tree, so that'll be like times 3 punches. So you and me can do it at the same time, and then they can do it like a second time, and then it'll be like a 1-2.
Punch his arm off. Okay, anyway.
Why not? That's what Ali would want.
You want me to punch his arm off?
Now you gotta.
How about just a sprain?
Just severely injure him. That's fine.
Dislocate.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Right down
There.
the middle.
Yeah.
Not exactly
Happy
break,
medium.
not exactly
I mean, I think if
fracture,
you
just-
maim him, Chiron might get involved. You might lose some dessert privileges or something, but
Wouldn't be the
I
first
mean, I
time
don't
we've had
eat
to heal
dessert,
that.
so that's fine
honestly.
with me.
Not even Chiron would mess with somebody's final wishes.
it's true.
Mm-hmm.
All
But
right.
but you're not gonna die.
I mean, I might
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to stay positive.
for
Do
multiple
we at least
reasons.
get to the river first? Like, then we can decide who dies, and then we
Yeah,
can talk
I
about
mean-
well wishes and wheels and shit.
I agree with Rascal.
Bet you never thought you'd say that.
Oh, I just threw up a little in my mouth. Oh, also my horse is here. Just because I keep forgetting to say that he's with us, but he's here.
Yeah, Danny's been hanging like toward the telling you where to go, but hanging in the back with the horse,
Yeah.
just like chilling. Rest of you guys got your stuff going on.
I can imagine he's pestering her about food right about now. Just kind of nudging her like, food.
So, unless there are any other conversations you want to have,
Not here, but I think when we get to the Styx.
I
Okay,
do
all right.
I do want to settle up to Viren and just whisper to them, what about you?
We're going to make it back. So there's no point in saying anything.
Mhm. I like
We're
your
going to be fine.
confidence. If I die, can you tell Connor that he should pursue his career in poetry?
You do know that I
Aw.
led Connor to, I know Connor.
I know. Which is why I'm asking you to tell him that.
I know exactly the satyr who will mentor Connor in poetry.
Good. I appreciate that. I know some other people at camp say that that's a phase, but it's only a phase if people push him out of it. And I'd rather him be in his little depressive, sad, happy bubble than be depressed and sad without the happy part of it. So, I mean, I'd rather he wasn't depressed and was happy, but it's Connor. Just make sure that he gets taken care of. Yeah.
I actually have an idea for him.
Good. We keep walking. That's it. I don't want to say nothing else.
All right. As you continue onward, you're walking for what feels like a very long time, but as you have more or less gotten used to by now, that doesn't mean much in the labyrinth. Could have been 20 minutes of real time, could have been 4 hours. It's all up in the air, but it feels like a long time. You've been walking for a very long time, and you're pretty bored of it. And Danny pipes up from the back and says, "All right, everybody stay on your toes. This is where it usually gets a little dicey," and pops out her 2 little mini size as you keep walking.
Goes out.
And as you continue, who's in the front of who's walking in front?
Technically,
I think I would,
guess.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because I was talking to Byron, so I assume we just kind of walked in silence.
As we are about to get there, though, I'd like to try out these gauntlets.
Go for
I
it.
think Byron taps their knuckles together and activates Shape Changer.
All right.
So I get an automatic 10 plus.
Yeah, so I'm going to read the mechanics out so that the audience can benefit from this as well. So the Redwood Gauntlets can only be used by the Verdant Playbook or a character who has taken Shape Changer from the Verdant Playbook. And the wearer does not need to roll to use the more advanced Shapeshifter option, which is with Shapeshifter, if you're trying to turn into something that's like relatively harmless, like a plant or whatever, you don't have to roll for it. You can just do it. But if you want to, quote, get fancy with it and be something that could be used in a fight, you have to roll for it. But with the gauntlets, you do not have to roll for it, and you can treat it as an automatic 10 plus, and you can increase both your armor and the harm dealt by 1. So that brings both of those to a total of 2 with that. So tell us how you are shapeshifting and using the gauntlets.
So Viren taps their knuckles together, and just the gauntlets themselves begin to form over the arms and up to the shoulders to become armor, and then also down onto the hands just to become like a better grip on the spear that I have.
Nice. Very cool.
So I pick the harm and the armor.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you're all feeling pretty ready for whatever comes next?
If you guys, so I want to, since we're playing with the new toys, can we take a second and I can try out the new ring?
We can.
It's not a one-off, right?
Correct. You can use it multiple times.
Okay.
You can't use it like one right after another,
Yeah.
but you can use it multiple times.
I'll try it out, sure. Based on to see maybe if I can visualize what's going to happen in the next couple of seconds.
Okay. Excuse me. So mechanically, the wearer can take 1 turn when in combat, or if you're just doing it out in the open like we are right now, to concentrate on a vision from the ring, and they will see what happens in the next 2 to 4 turns, or 5-ish minutes, based on decisions that have already been made in the path that they are all currently on. You can't see other possible outcomes or what if scenarios. And while you are in this vision, there is a godlike glow that comes from it that prevents you from being attacked while you are unable to see what's around you in your environment. So, flavor-wise, though, tell us how you are concentrating on this ring and how you reach out for this vision.
I'm just gonna close my eyes and say, and like focus on the ring and just go, hey Dad, if there's ever a time to help out, is around now. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna vibe my way to a vision essentially and just kind of be receptive to whatever vision.
Very nice, very nice. So you close your eyes, and when you do, you still see the tunnel ahead of you, and you still see everyone standing as they are and as they were when you closed your eyes, except you're all beginning to walk forward. And when you take about 15, 20 steps forward, the next step that Viren takes comes down on a piece of rock that seems to sink in further than the rest and further than it should. And out from the ground emerges two skeletal warriors. And that's the vision that you get from the ring.
Okay. We need to be careful. Because we're going to come under attack by the skeleton baddies. I don't know if it's. I don't know. Would I know if it's like he crossed a threshold, or is it that specific rock that he stepped on was a trigger, like a button?
You kind of get a sense that it's like something between those two. It's like these. It's like
So
these
no.
things came up. It's like these undead warriors came up to defend the area behind them. So it's kind of a boundary, and also kind of because of a certain stone.
I tell that to the group.
Did you say skeletons?
Yup. Warriors. They look like this. Blah, 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 blah.
Danny pipes up in the back and says, I told you it was going to get dicey.
Well, yeah, but now we know when it's going to get dicey. And where.
Yeah, dicey, not skeleton-y.
We are in for a fight, everybody.
To be fair,
Like-
skeletons are,
You said there were only two, right?
that I saw, but then my vision ended. Maybe there's more beyond. Maybe this is like a respawn point and they die and then they come back and then they die and then come back.
I mean, it is the underworld.
It is.
Rascal's already like toying with the gambler's blade, just twirling it, ready, getting loose. It's ready to go down.
I love the moments.
But at least now we know, and we can be ready for when it does trigger, so they don't ambush us and stab us to death.
Fair enough.
It's good.
So you continue walking forward.
Not me. I'm waiting for all of them to continue forward because I'm an archer.
That's melee in the front.
So
It's
the
like,
tunnel
over there. That's one more step and you're there. Yeah, right there.
So a kind of impatient quiet settles over you guys as you're getting ready for whatever's going to come up, because you know it's going to happen, but you're not quite sure when. And Viren, you step down on this rock, and about 7-8 feet in front of you, these two skeletal warriors rise up out of the ground, and like all of the bones like build on top of each other to like form the undead warrior. It's pretty sick looking. It really is.
Cool. That's one of my favorite video game animations of all time too.
And they don't say anything. They are just holding up their swords, and they don't move forward unless you move forward. They'll just stand there until you start to approach again. And once you start to approach, they're gonna get ready.
Hey, Danny,
What?
you can talk to the dead, right?
Unfortunately, not my specialty. That's the Hades kids.
Technically, we can all talk to them. They just not necessarily understand us.
That's also true.
Hello, friends. Would you consider letting us pass?
Just for funsies, roll to sway someone.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That is a 4.
Okay. They don't move an inch. I was gonna say they don't move muscle, but they don't have those. So they don't move an inch. They continue to stand there in
They don't
silence.
move a bone.
So funny. It was a rib tickler.
Well.
What do they look like, by the way? Like, is there any defining feature to them besides being skeletons?
They are mostly just skeletons. They are wearing very basic armor, like just like the basic Greek armor that you would find at
Mhm.
at camp anywhere, or on, like, it's also the same style as like the ancient Greek warriors. So you can just tell that these are Greek undead warriors, basically.
Do we just want to fight them?
Well, hold on.
Wait, maybe
They haven't answered yet. They might still be considering.
It's true.
Please.
Can I? I know I'm not super smart, but can I try to do one of those understand what's happening rolls?
Oh, the pierce the veil?
Yeah, that's the one. Thank you.
Yeah, you can roll to pierce the veil.
Sure. What's the status for that? I have a thing.
2d6 plus judgment.
I have a thing for that. Hold on.
Oh,
Is this something truly obscure?
It's I mean, they're just standing there in silence. It's what
that sounds
pretty much no matter what you ask,
me.
It's pretty obscure. You have no information except that they are standing there clearly guarding something.
And this is plus judgment, right?
Yes, judgment.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9? Okay, so you can ask 2 questions from that list.
Nice. Let's go find the list. Sorry, I am very prepared. Where is it? Here's there it is. Okay. Where did this person, place, or thing came from? And how can I get this person, place, or thing to let us through?
So I mean, you watched where they came from. All of the bones
I knew that was
rose from the ground beneath their feet and stacked on top of each other and formed these humanoid skeletal figures. So they came from where they were buried, presumably. And how can you get this person, place, or thing to let you through? They seem pretty adamant on staying there and not letting anyone through. But, you know, if they're just piles of bones, you can just walk right over them.
That was the most useful role I've ever done in a TTRPG.
I'm so proud of myself as just a writer in general that you think this is all a big trick that's happening right now instead of just fighting undead warriors.
Listen, I have very vague memories of the time in the labyrinth, and I seem to remember something. One of us is lying, one of us is telling the truth, kind of bullshit. So I was just maybe it was Janus, one of those. Yeah, I don't fucking know. We can kill those, I think.
I mean, if anything, it's a sign that you're getting close.
If anything, it's a sign we're getting close.
All right.
I'll just shoot one of them. It's fine. The left one.
Yeah, you guys all get to go first since you are the protagonists, and also since you knew it was going to happen.
Can I do something first that might help you?
Sure.
I would like to swipe left, which is roll 2d6 plus prowess to fling a small group of enemies out of your way. Yeah, I want to do that first because if they get knocked prone, that can be helpful.
All right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, hold on. I rolled a 7. So that means I knock them prone, but they are unharmed. but I have an epic weapon, so I can choose one option from Smite Your Enemies, it says.
Okay. All right.
And the option I would like to choose is, hold on. I'm going to make an opening, which is +1 forward to an ally who follows my lead.
All right.
Badass.
So you're jumping ahead and giving them a good old batter up with the trident.
I wanted to flavor it as invoking Earthshaker powers and just rattling them to the ground.
Incredible.
So
you call upon the powers of the Earthshaker, and the ground rumbles a little bit, less at you and more toward them under where they are, and they begin to shake, and everything rattles a little bit. Kind of looks like they're doing that funky little Halloween skeleton dance for a second, and they end up not like collapsing on themselves, but falling over, losing their balance, kind of to the side. So there is now like an open-ish pathway between them, but they are in the process of getting up. They're working on it slowly. They got bad knees.
I'm gonna shoot them.
Wonderful. So you are willing to smite your enemies?
5, 6, 7.
All right. So you can choose one from the smite your enemies list.
I'm going to take something from the enemy. Can I do that?
Yeah, it's one of the options you can pick. Yeah. What do you want to take?
Can I take their thumb bone?
Their thumb, like their thumb?
Or would that be considered as also disarming them and not mechanically available?
You can definitely take one of their thumb bones.
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
Sure, I'll take their thumb. That's fine.
All right. Yeah. So you are you like trying to fire it off with the arrow?
Sure. Yeah. Maybe I was aiming for like the skull, and then they were like, "Oh no, I'm falling," and I don't know.
All right.
I'm trying to just do
you
something.
You knock an arrow and pull it back, and you let it fly, and as they're falling, their arms go up like the weird little skeletons they are, and the arrow catches one of their thumbs and just knocks it flat off. The arrow embeds itself into one of the tunnel walls, and the thumb bone rattles onto the stone behind them a few feet. And
you're welcome, everybody.
They don't have that thumb anymore.
You know who doesn't have 2 thumbs and can't say that they're okay? That guy.
Is that in character?
Yeah.
I think Viren just audibly groans.
So did I. It's fine. Stop booing me and start destroying the monsters.
Tomato. I'm throwing tomatoes.
That's your action. It's just throw tomatoes.
I'm gonna try and just smite my enemies. Just a basic attack.
All right. Go ahead and smite your enemies.
Ooh, so that is an 11.
Yeah. Okay. An 11.
So my weapon naturally does 2 harm.
Okay.
It's 4 because of my shapeshift form right now.
Okay.
I'm going to. Oh, I choose 3 from the list. I'm going to exchange harm and crush them.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna make an opening for Rascal.
Okay. So what kind of attack are you making? Tell us how you're coming at him.
Viren's got superior reach, especially with this like 5-foot long pole arm now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to fully sweep across them.
Incredible. And which one are you going for? The one that had its thumb fired off, or the other one?
I'll go for the other one.
Okay.
I think that's a total of 5 harm to them.
Yes, that's a total of 5 harm to them, and they just have regular weapons, which does 2. Regular weapons do 2 damage. So as you're swinging, they try to reach back out with their spear to block or just get a swipe at you, and they manage to get a
But I have 2 armor right now.
But you have 2 armor right now, so it just kind of bounces off the bark. They catch you, and there's a little scrape left behind, but it's not on you. It's on the armor. So you have done 5 damage, and you have left an opening for Rascal, you said, right?
Yep.
Okay. Would you like to take that opening, Rascal?
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. I don't know why I couldn't find my dice.
I don't have my
Big
dice.
money, no whammies. Let's see. At least it's +0. I can't complain about that. That's a 4.
Yikes. So you
Sometimes you get too cocky.
Yeah. You're really going in, but it's a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
This time. You'll get him next time.
Busy throwing tomatoes at Sulfur.
Yeah, those figure of tomatoes.
All right, so it is now. Actually, you know what? They are still working on getting up because they were knocked prone. So you guys get to take your turns again. And I think Allie went first. Would you like to go again?
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I was doing something. Are they both still up?
They are in the process of getting up. They have almost righted themselves.
Okay, I'm gonna smite my enemies, one of them. Just run up with my, get my trident out, run up and just attack it.
Okay. Which one are you going for? The one with the missing thumb or the one that Viren has just pummeled?
I'll go for the one with the missing thumb.
Okay.
All right. And let's see. Wow. That is a 9.
Nice.
So I'm going to exchange harm.
Okay. So your weapon does 4 because it is an epic weapon. So you smash into it again, and it's a pretty solid connection, and it rattles him a little bit. He rattles, loses a rib here and there, and he is a little devastated, but working on getting back up still. And he also has a regular weapon. So do you have any armor?
No.
Okay. So he manages to get you on like the backhand swing of trying to defend himself, and catches you on the arm with his spear and leaves behind a cut, and you take 2 damage.
Cool.
Solar.
Sorry, I was dying at the thumb. Adley just took 2 damage, right? Was what just happened?
Okay. Allie did, yes.
Is anybody else hurt, or is it just Adley right now? Everybody else is fine.
I think it's just Allie.
Oh, poopy. I'm gonna smite it. I'll just attack. It's fine. I can heal Allie later. I'm just gonna shoot the thing. If there is no monster, there is no more danger, and therefore,
That's fair. Which one would you like to shoot at?
Thumbant.
Okay. I'm changing his little name to that in my spreadsheet.
That's cocked. Okay. 6 plus 7. So 7 is.
Okay, so you choose one from the list.
Yeah. So 7. I'll exchange harm with it.
Okay. So you.
So I can deal damage.
Yeah. So, and your weapon is that an epic weapon or a regular weapon?
It's an epic weapon.
Okay.
It's a. I wrote Orion's bow in my description, but I never actually like named it properly.
Gotcha. Okay. So your arrow, you pull back, fire, and it does 4 damage.
Ooh.
And then just like in the last episode, when you are firing from a ranged area, there's not really much they can do to you, so you do not take harm from that.
Maybe one of the
You're too far away for them to catch
maybe a bone
spear.
shrapnel just went, and I was.
I mean, if you want to take damage from bone shrapnel, you can.
No, I mean I don't want to, but also mechanically, like that's how
You could.
Sure.
I just wanted to keep it consistent from the last episode.
That's fine. I'll take 1 point of shrapnel damage. It's fine.
Okay,
I did take
1 point
its
of
thumb
shrapnel
away.
damage.
It's fair enough.
You catch him square in the center of the skull, and little chips of it fly off.
Sure.
And then Viren.
All right. This one had the audacity to stay up after my attack, so we're going to go for another smite your enemies.
Wonderful.
That is a 10.
Nice.
I think we're just going to choose the same exact options.
That works. So how much damage
Well,
does that do? Oh, with the crush them, it's 5, right?
yes, it is.
Jesus. Okay. So you're just going in for another punch.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty shaken up from that first one, and you catch him on the way up. You just like one right down back into his head, and this time it just shatters, and the bones just fall loose and scatter across the stones, and this one is down for the count.
And since Rascal's going next, they get a +1 forward.
Ooh, where are my dice?
Oh no, did we go quiet again?
Okay, maybe that's just me
can hear
panicking.
We good?
Okay, cool.
I still see us moving on the stream, so I think we're all right.
It seems. I was
right.
just reading my options over here.
Okay. We're good. It's all good. We're all good. We don't have a technical difficulty right now. And Rascal, it is your turn.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure. I was so nervous. I think was like, oh wait.
Oh no, you're good.
Okay, cool. Let me try this again. Big money, no whammies. I'm gonna change dice because that's a 6.
And don't forget, you do have a +1 to that with your +1 forward. Does that make it a 7?
A 7.
Perfect.
There you go.
Still
So you
small, but I will take a 7.
you can pick one from the Smite Your Enemies list.
All right, let's see. That's my enemies. I guess I'll exchange harm.
Okay. So how are you coming at this guy? And are you using
I'm
the
coming at it
gambler's
with my
blade?
whatchamacallit.
The gambler's blade?
Yes. I'm not gonna use that die, those dice for
So
that one. I'm gonna use my
for
already
the
just in
audience,
time for pride.
for wonderful. For the audience, mechanically speaking, the where did it go? The gambler's blade. When you attack with this weapon, you roll 1d6. And on evens, the target will take the psychic damage. And on odds, the wielder will take the psychic damage. And that extra damage will be determined by you have to. It's not like doing harm kind of damage. It's the affected person or character needs to pass a 2d6 plus metal roll. And if they fail that roll, they are overcome with fear and cannot attack on their next turn, but they can still defend themselves if they are attacked. So that's what the Gambler's Blade does. So you roll your 1d6.
Guess what I rolled?
You roll an odd.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, damn. So when you attack this guy, and this is definitely an epic weapon, so it'll do 4 damage if I can find the right spreadsheet. This guy, the blade connects, slices right through the spine underneath the ribs, and the whole thing collapses onto the ground and scatters across the floor. But when you do so, you're not quite sure whether or not it's because of the blade, but it's probably because of the blade. But when you connected with this guy's spine, you made like direct eye contact with the empty eye sockets on this skeletal warrior, and the void of it kind of freaked you out a little bit. So you're a little bit unsettled. But since they're both down, your next turn isn't going to be affected because now we're out of combat. But emotionally, you're a little unsettled.
Boy, howdy.
So the pathway is clear. You can continue forward.
I'll catch up to the rest of the group. Anybody hurt?
Not physically, but don't worry about it.
Anybody else hurt?
I'm a bit slashed up, but I think I'm fine.
No, I got you. Here, I have a thing, and I'm gonna use for growth, which is I get to roll 2d6 plus weird to heal. It's a new move that I didn't know existed, but now I have thanks to Milan. So shout out to Milan for that. 4, 5, 6 plus my weird, which is 3, so 9. Which means that I get to heal up to 3 harm distributed as I choose. And since you're the only one damaged, then oh no, I took 1. I'll give you 2, so you're full, and I'll take 1, so I'm full too.
Perfect.
Nice.
I just give you guys a little bit of a quick sun bath, and everything's fine.
You find that the process goes a lot more quickly with your. Oh wait, never mind. You didn't take that item. Just kidding. Never mind. I didn't say that.
No, I did
So
not. I don't know what item you're talking
I just got
about.
so excited about all the items that my brain wanted to assume that you had all of them, but you don't.
I mean,
so
you could change that.
You could give it to me if you wanted to. I mean, I'm not gonna turn it down, but also
I could, but I'm not going to. I gotta give you some pullback. Put some pull on the reins. But anyway, so now that you have cleared the path of undead warriors, you wait for a moment for the dust to settle and listen, and it doesn't seem like anything else is coming up. And
no respawn. Good.
And you move forward carefully, and no others spring up from the ground. So either you have missed the special trap rocks, or there were only 2. Either way, you don't come across any more skeletons. So as you continue down this tunnel, you see a very faint source of light at the end of it, like it opens up into more of a cavern. And when you get to that point, you, as you approach it, you start to hear the sound of water rushing, the sound of a river flowing past. And you walk out of the tunnel and you find yourself in a larger, essentially a much larger perpendicular tunnel type thing, but it's like massive and cavernous. And in the middle, flowing through it, is a dark black river rushing by. And so you see the river Styx in front of you, and you're here. You made it. You've been guided. What would you like to do?
You know, I thought it'd be bigger.
So do I just go in, or
Don't actually know.
Do you get swim trunks? Do we need goggles? Do we need like the thing you put up your nose? Or what is the procedure here? Or is it not actually water? What if it's a metaphor?
It's not really water, but yeah, it's weird. It's a lot of things. Okay, hold on. First, can I talk to both of you real quick? And I'm gonna pull Allie and Rascal aside. I guess actually it doesn't matter. Solar's here too.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
You're not jumping in.
Rude.
That's the actual title of the episode, and Solar's here too.
Solar's here too?
I get it. I'm not super impressive. I understand. It's fine. You can talk to them on.
You took a thumb off of that skeleton like a champ.
Which, by the way, could I theoretically keep it as my
Yes.
spoiled? Hell yeah.
Yes, you.
Then I'll probably be playing with my new thumb while they're having the. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just like trying to fit it on.
You've
my
been
own
slighted.
finger.
You're out.
Yep. My ADHD kicked in. I'm not paying attention to what's happening.
You need to be very clear about why you're going in the river, because it will chew you up and kill you if you're not sure about why you're doing this.
Okay, understood. Crystal clear.
It's the river of death for a reason.
Yeah.
And
Look, I understand. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
more than the quest, more than anything, you need to be very specific and intentional. There's just no place for half measures, okay? And I want it to be clear. Do not go in if you're not sure. If you're not abundantly sure why you're doing this. And I'm going to turn to Allie again. I have a concern that you might not be doing this for the right reason.
And what reason would I be going in here for?
I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but maybe you've got a chip on your shoulder or something, but you don't have to be Percy Jackson to be a hero. I get it. The first big kid of Poseidon in a while, right? There's a lot of legacy to live up to.
Yeah,
I see the kind of pressure Chiron puts on you, but
I don't want to be Percy Jackson. Let's get that straight. I'm my own person. And you're not going to put that kind of whatever on me and assume that that's what I'm thinking.
It cut out. I couldn't.
I think
hear
your
that.
mic cut out. We couldn't hear that last bit.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. What is going on? Anyway, we all have famous relatives. Big whoop. I'm doing this because the one place that I've known growing up is trapped underground, and everyone in my life, for some reason, is fine with just sitting somewhere else with no access to the outside world or anything else. And seems to have no intention of trying to leave or pick up the pieces or try and rebuild our home, or even seems to think that's possible. So I'm doing this so that we can get rid of the thing that caused all this to happen and get that back.
Viren smiles at this. Perfect. You're doing it for the right reasons then.
Yeah, it's not up to you to decide whether my reasons are just or not. So I'm just going to go in the river. Bye. And she turns and just jumps in.
So as you start to walk toward it, because you're several feet away, a Greek warrior appears in front of you. Tall and buff, cruel, scarred face, closely shaved black hair, and he holds his war helmet under one arm and has a bloody arrow sticking out of his left calf just above the ankle. And he says, I warned the others not to follow my path, and now I will warn you. Do not do this. It will make you powerful, but it will also make you weak. Your prowess in combat will be beyond any mortals, but your weaknesses, your failings, will increase as well. Turn back.
I think she just goes, I don't need to hear it from you either.
So, as you just like push past him, he starts on another little spiel that starts with let the gods witness that I tried. He keeps talking, but you're not listening. And you just barrel forward and you set one foot in the river. And we are going to find out what happens after the break. So we're going to take our break and we'll be back in a hot 10 to hear how the bathing in the Styx works and what happens. Hello, welcome back to the second half of part 1 of the season finale of The Beaten and the Damned. We have just left our heroes on the banks of the river Styx. Allie has shoved aside the spirit of Achilles and has marched headfirst straight into the river. So here's how we're going to do this. I have sent, for the people who are planning on bathing the river Styx, I have sent them like more specific mechanics. But for mystery and suspense, I'm not going to tell you all the exact mechanics. But so here's how this is going to work. We're going to do 2 rolls. The first one is you're going to roll once to survive walking into the river. That's going to be 2d6 plus word. And then once you're in the river, you are going to make another roll, the same kind of roll, to keep hold of your mortal tether. Failing one or the other, or both, will have its own set of consequences, which is in those more specific mechanics. And you will message me directly to tell me the numbers that you rolled. So we're not going to like say them out loud on stream because I want it to be super dramatic as everybody finds out what happens. And so you'll message me directly, tell you what you rolled. I'll describe it all happening, keep the suspense. And while you're under, you are going to describe your mortal tether for us. Who, what it is, why. You are not going to tell us, most specifically me, your physical vulnerable point. You are going to message that directly to another player, just so there's 2 of you, that know what it is and can remember it. And then if that spot gets hit during combat later, you'll just tell me as that happens. So does that sound good? Okay. All right. So, Allie, you step into the Styx, one foot in front of the other, and it burns. It is worse than anything you have ever felt. Every square inch of your skin feels like it's being burned through, like those tunnels in the Myrmidon Den. Like you're being pelted with jagged radioactive rocks over and over and over. Every nerve in your system is being cut and frayed apart, and faces flash by rapidly. Your dad stands on the deck of his ship, water splashing up behind him as he smiles at you. You don't recognize him. Your friends, Alec and Cam, fight by your side against a monster that you cannot see, and you don't recognize them. Faintly, you think you can I lost my place reading. Faintly, you think you can make out the faces of Viren and Rascal and Solar, but they're blurred by the surface of the river that's burning you, dragging you down further and further and further. And go ahead and make your first roll. You can actually make both rolls right now and then message me what they are. And then once you make those rolls, go ahead and tell us what your mortal tether is or who your mortal tether is.
Okay, let me message this to you real quick.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us what your mortal tether is, what you were thinking of to keep yourself grounded.
I think Allie, at first her thoughts are so jumbled and she like thinks of like tries to like hold on to something because she went in like figuring, oh, I'll think of like my brother, I guess. And so she thinks of her brother in the photograph in her pocket, and then she thinks about Noah, and then she thinks about like a bunch of stuff like flashes through her mind. And then she just settles on the feeling of camp and it being her home and like the one thing she wants to protect and all the people there. And like, that's what she like grabs onto.
Okay. So you're in the river, all these faces are flashing by, and then you are underwater, but real water. You are swimming through the kelp beds at the bottom of the lake at Camp Half-Blood. Your younger brother Kai has challenged you to a race, and you're not going to go easy on him. He may be much younger, but he doesn't get he doesn't get any help there. You're gonna beat him, right? You're gonna win. And you're swimming through bottom of the lake, all over, side to side, disturbing the fish and the naiads that live there. And then your leg gets tangled in kelp, and it stops you. You get stuck where you are. Kai passes by and swims ahead of you, and then stops and turns around and smiles at you brightly and holds out both of his hands, offering to help pull you out of the kelp.
I take his hands.
Okay. When you take his hands, the feeling of relief at having touched something solid again is nearly overwhelming. And as he pulls you out of the kelp, you find yourself breaking through the surface of the river, gasping for air, crawling onto the banks, hands and knees, flaring with pain as they make contact with the stone. Viren, Pascal, and Solar, you see Ali claw her way out of the Styx, skin vivid pink and almost steaming, and her hair and clothes are completely soaked through, dripping dark water that sizzles when it hits the stone. She has emerged from the river.
How you feeling, Earthshaker Jr.?
Shit.
How am I feeling?
You're not really sure yet. It's you're pretty focused on the pain of like all your skin feeling like it's been burned off, but you're not dead.
I can shoot you.
Let's how about instead we just and I think she pulls out I don't know, does anyone have like a knife or something?
We have a knife.
axe,
Probably
so-
not the one you'd want to use though.
No, I can. Here, we have like packs that like adventure packs.
Okay, just give me an
use
arrow.
one of those sharp things. No, the only arrow I have is super powerful, and I don't want it to waste this enchantment. And the other ones are just generated by my bow.
None of y'all have a fucking pocket knife.
Okay, she just pulls out her trident
adventure
and
packs,
just
so we
like
should have something there.
she pulls out her trident and she just presses the tip of her finger as hard as she can against the tip of it.
You feel the pressure on your finger, and it feels something like pain, but it draws no blood, and it doesn't like sting like it should when you're stabbing your own finger.
Is your weapon like alley safe, or is that actually the effect of the?
Hey, Rascal,
Mm-hmm.
can you stab me?
See, I would if I wasn't preoccupied. Like it's walking backwards to the river and just like falls back into it.
just nice, incredible.
I was gonna ask and see if Rascal was good to go, but okay, they just went for it.
I could have just glancing shot Allie and get it over with, but that's all right. It's okay.
So I was gonna ask if you had any last words, but you're just going for it. So you fall backwards into the river with a loud ass smack, like you have just belly flopped into a pool in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
And the sound for the rest of you, Rascal, you can't hear it because you are now underwater, but the rest of you hear that smack like echo through the entire cavern like several times. And Rascal, when you fall in, when you're absorbed by the river, it feels like nothing you have ever felt before in your life. This shit sucks. It hurts like nothing you have ever imagined. It burns. And it feels like you're getting scraped by dozens of tiny daggers. It is just the worst thing you could have possibly imagined, times like 6. And you have already sent me your rolls. So go ahead and tell us what your mortal tether is.
Rascal's tether is the person that's been through thick and thin with them. Every cross deal, every scattering, every like sneak out of foster home, every trick and Camp Half-Blood, that's themselves. Rascal's tether is Rascal. So there's nobody else they can trust more than the body that they're in.
Yeah. So you too see all kinds of faces flash by you, all different scenes, different people standing in front of you. You see Silas, your partner in crime, trying to put a bucket of mud on top of a door in the big house. And you barely recognize him. It's like you've never seen him before. And you see the faces of the rest of your team right now, Ali and Viren and Solar, just rapid fire in front of you. You could not put a name to the face if you tried. You have no idea who they are. And then all of these images come to a stop in front of a tall, full body length mirror. And you look and you see yourself standing there exactly as you are in your truest form, wearing Camp Half-Blood, casual clothes, just raw in all of your beautiful rascally glory. And you reach out for the mirror and touch where your hands meet. And as you do that, you feel the cool of the mirror, of the glass on the mirror, seep into your skin and flow up and along both of your arms throughout your entire chest, and it cools off that burning sensation. And you push with the other hand and fall forward through the mirror, and you land on the banks of the river Styx, skin red, burning, and gasping for air because you cannot breathe water river Styx. And you too have emerged from the river.
Oh, that's perfect. Ow.
Yeah, doesn't feel good.
No, not at all. I don't know how you did. I don't know how you just like waiting in the Voltic slowly crawling out. But we're good. We're better than good. We're something.
And make sure both of you have messaged somebody else in the cast your physical vulnerable point. Because
I'm gonna shoot Rascal.
No warning. Okay, all right.
Well, like it's a glancing shot, kind of like a safe shot, just to kind of nick the shoulder or something. Hopefully, that's not the place where their weaknesses is. But just like this.
Oh my god.
It isn't, right?
Rascal.
No, I'm not lying. That's what it was.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna pick the left shoulder. It's not
That's
the left shoulder.
The one. You did it. It is the left shoulder.
Oh god. Okay.
I was just about to message you. I was going. Leave it to the kid of Apollo.
So.
Hey, Harold.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Hold on. Can I pretend that was me looking through my ring or something?
No,
instead, I'm gonna shoot him in the shoulder, but I'm gonna.
No.
So that would count as a what if scenario, which you cannot see through the ring. So, okay,
I'm dying. No, Rascal's dying. Oh my god.
It wouldn't have been like hurtful. It would have been like a nick at most. No, that's not how it works.
When it's on the vulnerable point, it doesn't matter.
Did I just
get like a
maybe
tool and
spend
and just get a gut feeling
threads
to
to
like
change?
protect Rascal or something?
Can we change the thread? Can we use threads?
I want the
something?
consequences, baby. That's what I'm
okay,
here
I was just gonna ask, like, are you
God.
okay with like going through this?
I'm not.
Yeah, because that's what I picked. Like I thought something.
Okay, all right.
So the shoulder.
Go ahead and treat this as though let's treat this like the option that I messaged you about the first roll failing, but the second passing.
I am so sorry. I thought it was gonna be a haha funny moment. I didn't know that of all your fucking body, I was gonna pick the one spot that you're weak in.
Can't believe
Um,
Solar just killed someone.
I am
so
going
are you
to.
all right with that if we go with that first option from the mechanics
Yeah,
message?
I'm totally fine with it. I could, yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're a little caught off guard. Solar gives you no warning for this, just like pulls an arrow out and just like flips it around once in their fingers and like just kind of like pounds down with it. Like not that hard, but you know, enough, obviously. And it hits you right in your left shoulder. And you feel that same searing pain start here, right where the arrow connects. And it splinters through all of the rest of you. And Ali, Viren, and Solar, you see those splinters forming as golden cracks of light coming out from Vin, or not Vin, from Rascal. Jesus. And Rascal dissolves into light, consumed by
Actually, can I use an ascendance move to not let them die at my hand?
Let me look at what your ascendance move says.
It says I can make any effect happen. It doesn't. There's no textual limit to it.
Craft a spell of epic proportions. I
Okay.
mean,
What's epicer
time
than
magic?
not killing myself?
And how many ascendance moves have you used already? Just one?
Just a one.
Okay. I am gonna let you try that, but I am gonna make you roll for it. I know you don't usually have to roll for ascendance moves, but because this is a little bit
Yeah.
like
Life
the
and
fates have already cut the string, I'm gonna make you roll for it.
Okay. What do you want me to
So
roll?
go ahead and roll. What would you normally roll for a spook? Okay, 2d. So go ahead and do 2d6 plus weird.
No, that's good. I'm
And
good
we'll
at that.
say,
Okay.
and we'll say that a 10 and up is passing.
Hey.
That is
Does
a 10
Solar
on the
have an extra
dice.
thread? Oh, okay.
That is a 13 total.
Damn. All right. So tell us how you are trying to do this and what you're doing.
The
to
way
make
I
this
always
happen.
imagine my bow, it's like a solar energy type of
Mhm.
thing, pun intended. So I imagine kind of like extracting venom from a wound. I'm just pulling like the harm out of Rascal, or something along
Okay.
those lines.
And when you pull it out, where does it go?
Into me, that's why I'm gonna reduce my max harm to 6 boxes, because I feel like that is a big enough punishment for what I just fucking did.
Yeah. So you take the arrow out, flip it around your fingers, and stab down right into Rascal's shoulder, and see these gold cracks start to splinter from their shoulder through the rest of their torso. And you are like, oh shit, oh fuck,
I done fucked up.
oh god, oh no, this is horrible. And you are just like scrambling internally, like, what can I do? And you call in that same feeling as when you pulled the heat out of Madeline's electricity, that same kind of like extraction magic,
Yeah.
channeling it back into you. And you are more or less successful. But Ali and Viren, what you see is these cracks start to splinter up and into the arrow and into Solar's arms. And both of them are encased in this like bright white golden glow that's like impossible to look at. You have to, like, you can't really tell what's happening. And after a few seconds, it settles and the light fades away. And both of them are still standing, mostly, but there is an arrow sticking out of Rascal's shoulder, and Solar, is like doubled over, hands on knees, like. So you're both alive, and because Solar took some of that energy from the Styx, you're no longer like perfectly invulnerable. You're still gonna be like much stronger in battle and much harder to hit, but because some of that has been taken out to reduce the consequences, it's not like a perfect involved. It's like a cracked teapot kind of situation. It works until it doesn't. Oh God. All right. So you wanna test it on Allie?
I am
What
so
just
sorry.
happened?
Well, I think we saw evidence of of the term Apollo literally never missing.
Did you almost kill Rascal?
By technicality, I did kill Rascal. I just Doctor Who the damage between.
Can we not say kill and Rascal in the same sentence?
Okay,
now. I can't do.
I'm sorry. Can't do it. You're right. I almost murdered Rascal.
Oh.
Okay, I'm getting us out of here. I would like to use a move, Harold. I would like to use the move location, location, location.
Ooh, see, before you get a chance, you'll probably get another chance later, but before you can get a chance to do that, you're all like kind of freaking out with each other and not really paying a whole lot of attention to your greater surroundings. And where is it in my notes? Oh, here it is. So as you're like hands on shoulders, like, is everybody alive? What the fuck just happened? How did we? And then from about 20 feet behind you, a large section of the wall collapses and rocks tumble out, dust clouds up above it. Dust clouds up above the pile of rocks now, and there is an opening in the wall. And I have a lot of pages of notes. From this fresh entryway emerges a figure. As he comes closer and the dust begins to settle, you see a young man, barely older than you, dark, messy hair, and a sword hanging loosely in one hand. He is wearing a button-down that looks like it used to be quite nice, but now it's been dirtied almost to the same color as the stone that surrounds you, and it's ripped all over, like the dry cleaner sent it through a paper shredder before they gave it back to him. And slow-moving tendrils of sickeningly familiar black fog follow at his heels. And as Theseus walks toward you, with his shoulders relaxed and a scowl on his face, he says, "Nice to see you all again. Care to take a walk with me?"
Not right now. No, not really. I say as I'm standing and start walking towards him. I know that comes back. I don't know if that applies to all legendary weapons, but I'm gonna pretend that mine does. I throw my bow away. just like, I don't need this anymore.
You just like toss it.
Yeah, I'm sure it comes back to me, but nope, I don't want it anywhere near me right now.
Just to talk, right?
Yeah,
just to
talk.
Walk and talk.
Just to walk and talk.
Allie just kind of looks him up and down as she kind of follows the others and just goes, "You know, you're named after a son of Poseidon. Just fun fact."
I know.
Do you know I have a horse that's named after the Spanish word for fire?
That's neat.
All around the topic of names.
My name's technically Latin.
Mm-hmm. These are astounding fun facts, you guys. Really, we're on a little bit of a schedule though.
I give him a thumbs up with my bone.
If you want to bring that there special knife with you, we'll just be on our way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you?
Oh, I know what special knife you're talking about. This one, right? And Rascal flicks them off. Just full bird. I got two.
For a second, I thought you were gonna like yank the dagger from Solar's side. I was like, you cannot go through this.
No, I can't do everything chaotic. I gotta be a jerk sometimes.
To be fair, I don't think
You
Rascal
you
wants to
can't
be
touch
close
that
to me
knife.
right now. I wouldn't be
No, it's
surprised
not
if Rascal
fun.
wants to be away.
So
I'm
Theo
just
sees
going
this and
to-
is just like, very funny.
That was really funny, Rascal.
But
Thanks. I thought I was pretty funny too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Milan, did you
Danny
say
doesn't
something?
need to come with us. But
Yeah.
Danny says, nope, I'm good, and like darts back into the tunnel
Take
that
the
you guys came out
horse.
of.
Never mind. She's already
Did you just say
done.
take the horse?
Yeah, but she was probably not waiting for the horse.
You
so-
hear a high-pitched whistle come from the hallway. I would demonstrate, except I can't whistle. And when the horse hears the whistle, he goes trotting after and follows Danny into the back into the tunnel.
Thank you.
They're both gone.
Alright. And we just. All right, so we're walking. Now talk.
Shall we? And he gestures with his sword back toward the entrance in the wall. You're just
I mean, you
gonna.
don't have to use your sword as like a laser pointer, but go on.
It's helpful.
Because
We're
of
Sometimes.
walking.
Adds a certain emphasis, I think. If I would have known it was gonna be this easy, I wouldn't have brought you guys presents. Guess that
Look
was a
at you,
waste.
Santa Claus.
And as you get closer to the entrance that Theo just came through, you see some more figures in that entryway who had just been waiting. They just didn't walk out behind Theo. There are 5 people. You recognize Madeline with electricity crackling more wildly at her fingertips than the last time you saw her. And there's another demigod next to her with warm brown skin and wearing glasses that sit just a little bit crooked on their long straight nose. And it's been a while, but you recognize this demigod as Piri, child of Athena and Theo's partner. And they're both together dragging along 3 others, hands tied at the wrists. And Madeline shoves 2 by the shoulders when you all walk in and start to move forward. And you see Connor and Melly stumble forward further into the new tunnel that seems to be at the top of the staircase, but we'll get to that in a minute. Connor looks frightened and small and oddly young without his beanie, even though they're barely you guys. Melly looks more pissed than you have ever seen them. With every step, a small patch of grass grows and immediately withers at their feet. And Piri has hold of the third person's elbow and is pulling them along. And it is Noah Raptus. And all 3 of your friends look bruised and bloody and bone tired. It's very clear that they put up a hell of a fight, even if they lost. And the staircase, which is 10, 15 feet ahead of you now, past that opening in the tunnel, just goes. It's made of the same stony material as the rest of the cave. Like it had just been waiting to be unearthed for hundreds of years. And the stairs go down and down and down as far as you can see. And there's a very faint red glow coming from the bottom.
So, how are you guys holding up?
Connor looks around and waits until nobody says anything and is just like, just peachy.
So, what part of Just Talk are we going with, by the way?
Who's doing anything but talking? We're just talking.
I wasn't necessarily talking to you. You hold on for a sec. What are we doing in terms of just talking?
For now, we're going along with it. until
I don't
it's the
see that
appropriate.
working very long, but that's just me.
At least now we have extra allies that can help if it comes to a fight.
Allies, they look like bursted ketchup packets. What
I
are you
almost
talking
killed
about?
you, and Connor has that same capacity. So
Don't
calm
say that
down.
out loud. God.
Don't breathe. I was actually asking you guys, and I point to the other older kids when I asked how you were doing, and I pointedly look at Lightning Queen over there.
Madeline, still just standing behind them, fingertips crackling with lightning, and she just cracks her neck and says, doing great. How are you doing?
Honestly, slightly traumatized, but otherwise okay. It's been
Funny how that
interesting.
feels, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've been to a few places. It's I've seen things that I never thought I could see. Makes you rethink life choices, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I would love to hear so much more about how traumatized you are.
it's okay. We can pretend. We can stop pretending. We know what's happening here. The question is, what do you gain from this? And I gesture at our group and the others that they took.
Which one of them are you asking specifically?
Just in general, I'm just kind of talking to the whole group.
Okay. Madeline looks like she's about to say something. She opens her mouth, but Theo interrupts her and says, that's not really for you to worry about anymore.
I mean, that's debatable, really.
And we really are in a tight schedule, so we should really get moving.
I thought we were walking. My bad.
Oh, walking the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just talking while we walk.
Okay. So you're going down the stairs, down and down and down forever. And Theo says, instead of that, since you are already walking, and that would be silly. What did you ask right before this?
I asked how everybody was doing, and then
you said that depends, right?
I said that I mentioned that like we all knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of keeping us here, essentially alive, at this point?
Yes. And Theo said that's not really your problem anymore.
And then I said that was not really accurate. There you go.
We found it, folks. We're good.
It sounded so much cooler when we said it the first time.
We made our way back.
Yep.
It wouldn't be a Percy Jackson campaign without very obvious evidence of ADHD from a few of the cast members.
Yep.
Titan, Theo.
What did you say?
You said you reek of Titan, Theo.
Yeah, you will too soon enough. It's pretty stanky down there.
Down there being Tartarus, right?
Yes, I do mean Tartarus.
Okay. Just as
They're
in case
scared.
the others are not aware of it.
They're scared. They need us out of the way because they're afraid we might actually win.
Is that what you think?
Sorry, the hellhounds are going crazy down here for some reason.
You're not here to stop us. You're here to help us.
Oh, really? I think I missed that.
Well, maybe not intentionally, but you are here to help us.
Oh, we actually, Rascal, they're right. We are here to help them. Just not in the way they expect us to help them.
Oh,
remember,
right,
because we
hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Allie, can you please make me a Pierce the Veil roll?
Oh God. Yeah, that's a judgment, right?
Yes, 2d6 plus judgment.
7.
7. Okay. And because I have something specific in mind, I'm picking the question for you. Well, it actually doesn't really apply to the questions. But anyway, so you notice while everyone else is talking that Noah is trying to get your attention subtly. Not by saying anything, but just like,
Mm-hmm. She just kind of, I guess, moves closer to where he is.
Okay. And he leans over and says as quietly as he can, did you guys get it? Do you have it?
The knife?
Yes, the knife.
Okay, yes, but what? Why are you here? Are you that big of an idiot to get captured?
I'm sorry, did you want them to take Kai instead? There was only so much we could do. They showed up right in the morning. We weren't prepared.
At the camp?
Yes, at the camp.
Oh my God.
Where else would we have been?
So it's not that safe after all, just as I thought. Yeah, we have this stupid knife. Like, I can't use it.
What do you mean you can't use it?
I kind of sort of swam in the Styx.
Allie, you what? Why did you do that?
Because we're up against someone who swam in the Styx.
Okay. Not the time or the place. Don't let them take it. Don't let them use it.
Wasn't planning on doing that.
If they get a hold of it, we're done. They can't even touch it.
Wait, so even if Theo touches it, because he has some...
Theo can't touch it. He knows better than that. Jesus.
Okay, so if anyone but Theo touches it.
Yes, if anyone but Theo touches it.
This is just like the stupid jar thing again. Okay.
Jar thing?
Old quest. It doesn't matter.
What happened with the quest about the jar?
Yeah.
What happened with the jar?
We can't talk about this right now.
So how have you guys it's been liking the weather down here? I say as they get a little bit rowdy and loud in the back. I needed to choose better words, but I think they're also very accurate to those two. So it's fine.
That works. And Theo just turns and looks at you and is like, don't really get weather down here.
That's true.
I mean, there's atmosphere and there's dirt, and I'm pretty sure there's wet. So is that not the components for weather?
Also, I can give you a little bit of sunlight if you want. So
Yeah, also, there is weather in certain cave systems. Never mind.
I'm sure Allie can make it rain if she wanted to, but she doesn't. So
I control the ocean, not water falling from the sky.
oh yeah, and where does the water from the sky comes from?
I can't make it rain.
Have you tried though?
I mean, it depends on the. Never mind.
I'm gonna ignore that.
I'm sorry. Are you really the ones they sent on this quest?
That's how, yeah.
I think, yeah, that's us.
Well, I mean, there was another one, but her dad is actually the kind of dad that shows up sometimes and takes you on field trips.
damn, wonder what that's like. And
know.
Theo turns to Puri and Madeline and says, "This is going to be easier than we thought."
Um,
Well, see,
have
don't-
your tongue for that one. Take
see-
your tongue for that one.
See, Theo, that's the problem, is that it isn't going to be as easy as you think, because there's no it that's going to be anything.
Funny you say that. And as Theo says that, you are much closer to that faint red light at the bottom of the staircase, and in front of you is a massive gaping hole in the ground with faint red light coming up from underneath it somewhere. And Theo just points his sword at it, low to the ground, and says, "All right, who's first?"
You go. Show us how it's done.
That's not what I said.
Well, you asked who's first. You didn't say you weren't part of the options, but all right.
I think it was implied.
Yeah.
Madeline, would you like to help our guests along?
I
And
jump
Madeline
in.
raises a hand. And okay.
What?
But as I go down, I am going
Okay.
to. I don't know if you'll allow this, but I imagine it is somewhat possible. Could I call my horse to me?
Probably. Why?
Well, it's a sun horse, right? Like it's
Yeah.
one of the. So it technically flies.
Technically.
So I could call it to me and then not splatter,
Yeah,
or fly out of the hole, depending on what we want.
you could. You wouldn't be able to take anyone with you, but you could.
Or could I? No, that's right. Sure.
You could.
It's
You could do that.
I'll summon Yama and just
Okay.
have him carry me to safety.
Okay. So you.
I
fall-
don't fucking know what's at the bottom of this, man. This is past what I read, so
as you fall and whistle for your horse,
yep. Phew.
he comes to you and races past the others, and everyone is like, "The fuck was that?" And he jumps down into the hole and catches you and slows your descent. But it is a long, long descent, and the further down you get, the worse the air smells. And we'll come back to that in a moment.
It's
the rest of you-
public to me.
You've just watched Solar take the first jump into the pit that presumably leads to Tartarus.
I know I jumped into a pit before, but that was not Tartarus.
Technically, you didn't know that, but whatever. Do we need a little more
Is-
encouragement?
So are the captives being like held by people?
Madeline and Puri are both like kind of floating like right next to them. But they're not like actively like holding on to them or anything. And Puri was was close enough to hear everything that you and Noah said, but was very pointedly ignoring it.
Can I make eye contact with Allie? I want to just convey like something. I guess I'll just toss my head in the direction of those two. I guess of the ones in the sky, and do like a lifting motion if needed.
Allie's a herbo. And it's just like,
Oh boy.
Because they're you said they're like
unfortunately-
floating, right? Or was that not literal?
Oh, with the horse?
No, the two Puri and Madeline. You said they were like floating nearby the.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah.
literally floating. I just meant like.
Okay. Never
I
mind.
was gonna
then.
say I meant hovering, but that would be just as confusing. They're like within arm's reach.
The only one that is not currently touching
Sorry.
the ground is
Standing
me as I
close.
Yes.
slowly sink into
Yes.
the hole of Tartarus.
There's a couple things I could do.
Madeline, would you like to provide our guest with some extra encouragement? And Madeline smiles in a very unsettling way and reaches back toward Connor and grabs him by the hoodie and pulls him forward and just holds them like right at the edge and says, you can go first or they can.
You know what? That Mr. Talkie already went down. Let's just go. And we got Gambler's Blade. We're just going for the attack.
Like on the way down, you're gonna do like a fun like jump and slash.
Oh no, they're gonna go for.
All right, all right.
I was gonna say something to Madeline as they were doing that.
I'm going for Theo, by the way.
Okay.
You're
Go
going for
ahead
Theo.
and
we're just-
go ahead and roll
Yeah.
to smite your enemies.
We're having a great time tonight. We're gonna make this finale fun.
For the record, because you know that he bears the curse of Achilles, you cannot choose exchange heart as an option.
Unless you call out
Gotcha.
a body part.
Unless you call out a body part very specifically. And I know what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is ahead of time, though.
You know what? I'm gonna go with my my think tank up here. I'm going for the right side.
Okay. Where on the right side?
Probably like right above the hip.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
That's a 6, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. You run forward with Gambler's Blade raised, ready to strike down, angled at his hip, and it doesn't even come close to touching him. He moves faster than you can register with your eyes and has knocked the blade out of your hand with his sword.
Cool. Good thing I have 2.
And Theo is going to make a smite your enemies roll and try to just push you over the edge. So he's going to choose to take something from your enemy, which would be your balance, and he's just gonna give you a good shove and you go tumbling over the edge.
Actually,
can
I use #bless to hold on to the edge?
To hold on to the edge? Yeah, sure. You can hold on to the edge. You're now dangling by one hand onto a precariously rocky ledge.
Yeah, we're doing this Mufasa style.
And Theo looks down and is like, seriously?
Wait. Oh.
I would like to use my ascendance move.
Oh god, okay.
Let me read it out real quick. The ascendance move of the Verdant Playbook is Stampede. The living world needs you now more than ever, and you can see exactly what needs to be done. Call forth the vines and brambles, summon the hordes of animals, and reap sweet justice on those who would wreak havoc on the earth.
Okay.
Before I use the move, I would like to say to Madeline, I see too much time in the workshop made you forget how to be human. And as I say this, a vine is going to hit Madeline in the back of the head, wrap around Theo before they can like push Rascal completely off, and just make a barrier. I just want mostly this to be a barrier between them and the others.
Okay. So Madeline is standing very close still to Melly. So Melly would be caught on the other side of that barrier, and so would Rascal, and so would Solar. Also, if you still want to go through with doing this, I'm going to have you do a flat 2d6 roll, and Theo is also going to make a flat 2d6 roll to see who manages to act first.
I also wanted to say a thing when there's time.
I got an 8.
Theo rolled a 9. So as you reach to call for these vines, Theo yells out and says, "Piri, do it now." And Piri presses a hand against a wall, and a Greek delta glows beneath their hand, and the ground underneath you starts to shake and cracks, splinter along underneath your feet, and reach all the way back to just behind the last of you, and the floor starts to fall away beneath you. So you are now tumbling after your friends into.
Damn it! I've already acted, but I know what
because that's also where we're going to cut this evening session.
Do I still mark a consequence for my ascendance move?
I'm gonna say no because you didn't really get a chance to like actually wholly use it.
Okay.
I was gonna say that I wasn't gonna go all the way to the bottom, but I would have hovered somewhere just to kind of keep an eye.
I mean, it's a long fall. You have not made it to the bottom yet.
Well, yeah, I wasn't gonna go all the way to the bottom, but I was gonna be in the hole, just kind of keeping an eye out if anybody would fall to kind of figure out a way that I could help them not make it to the bottom.
After a couple seconds, you probably saw
Connor on the edge, and
Connor got pushed over, right? Connor got pushed over, so you would have seen Connor falling, and you could
I would have caught him,
like catch them by the hand.
Yeah, he's my sibling, so we would have been able to ride the horse without problem.
Yeah. So that's where we are wrapping part 1 of the season finale of The Beaten and the Damned. And we're gonna pick up right there next Wednesday evening at the same time slot, 8 p.m. EST, or otherwise known as 5 p.m. Pacific. And we're gonna go around and do our outros. So we're gonna do backwards order from what we did at the beginning, which means we are starting with Joel. Tell us who you are, where we can find you around the internet, what you're doing, how you feeling.
Hello. I am feeling like I made a lot of bad choices today, but they were fun. So you know what? That's what matters. I'm Joel. I am a content creator in many places. Typically, you can find me on Talking XP on Twitch on Mondays, where I play a little halfling wizard boy called Johans. We are just entering a town called Krisk, where his a mysterious acquaintance from his past, well, 2 mysterious acquaintances, separate acquaintances from his past, are in, and it's just going to be a lot of drama. It's going to be great. And then on Wednesdays, you can find me on TTRPG for the most part, because I have this next week, which is gonna break my heart, apparently. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, and ZX Shadow Azek said, where I've been kind of just I'm teaching my mother D&D at 60 years old, content creator now. It's been a lot of fun. That's all I have right now.
Wonderful. Next is Morgan. How you feeling?
I'm so ready to fight something.
Oh, I'm so ready that you're ready to fight something.
I want to fight something so badly. Well, I'm Morgan, also known as Magic Matrix on the internet. I mostly do cosplay, so if you like cosplay, can check me out. I'm currently an exclusive on TTRPG, so I'm only here on Wednesdays. And yeah, like I said, I'm just so ready to fight something. Very excited.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Milan.
Hey, I'm Milan, also known as Mallard Man on the internet. You can find me over on Twitter as MallardMan_. On Twitch, it's just MallardMan, no underscore there. You should follow me on both because I stream sometimes, and on Twitter, I generally just say things for no reason, and it's very funny. Other than that, though, you can catch me starting in June on Neon Lights Roleplay every other Monday playing Vampires the Masquerade, where I will be GMing that game. It's going to be very exciting. Other than that, you can catch me every other Tuesday in podcast format with Through Hollow Flames, GM'd by the amazing Itzdaridla, where our party goes through the world of 5th edition in Menaeus, a homebrew world of D's creation. And when I tell you all, the last episode has absolutely shattered my brain. Everyone should be listening to that podcast. I'm not even just saying that because I'm a part of it. But D is just a masterful storyteller. Other than that, what else do I call it? Yes, Fridays. You can find me on Critical Misses playing Star Trek Adventures, where I make people cry on purpose. Mostly my other cast members. We had our first episode back of season 2. It was very, very exciting. And you all should go watch that episode before I spoil something I shouldn't. All right. That's all for me.
Wonderful. And last but certainly not least, we have our friend who has kind of not died a couple times this episode. How are you doing?
Hi guys. I'm Vin at VinVoxV on Twitter. I'm a voice actor who does tabletop things, and my goodness, am I doing tabletop things? I have to remember everything that I'm doing. Catch me on Critical Misses for the Wayfinder's Guide to Hearth. It is a fantastically endearing and charming Wonder Home series that is very near and dear to my heart. I almost cried every 5 seconds of the first episode, and it's just a fantastic time. On the opposite end of that, catch me on Gehenna Gaming playing Morkborg, which is the exact opposite. We almost die constantly. It's a great time. My pals, Athonic Kids, we are doing some Good Society, which is going to be on Table Goth coming up soon. And I'm probably missing something else. But I recently became affiliate for, let's see what they are called, because I had the memory of a snail, a Game Tea. So if you go to gametea.co.uk and use code VinVoxVA, you get a little discount and I get a little something from your purchase. So that would help me tremendously. And I think that is me.
Wonderful. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelsey. I am the communications director for this lovely channel you see on right now, TTRPG. And outside of that, I am an arts administrator, a fiber artist, a writer, and an all-around community-focused gremlin. And I like to support and create nonsense. You can find me on Twitter as @crochet_BBY, and you can find me on TikTok as crotchety old woman with some various underscores in there, which I believe you can find in the Twitch chat. On TikTok, if you are really interested in seeing more Percy Jackson content, I have just started posting some Selena Borgard cosplays that I personally think are downright hilarious, and I think you would all really enjoy seeing. And I have what is quite frankly an absurd number of drafts waiting to also be posted, so there's plenty more where that came from. In wider news, you can find me here next week and possibly on other things in the future on this channel. I don't do a whole lot on a whole lot of other channels, but I'm here. I love this channel. And speaking of this channel, just a quick reminder that this Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific, we are going to be kicking off first episode of The Contaminated, run by Morshadi. And on this Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, we have our May episode of TTRPG, the talk show. And I believe that is all I have. So until next time, thank you for joining us.